All right, let's talk about the services or the overall approach that we're going to take here. You guys remember the game Finding Waldo? Well, this is a picture of my messy desk right there. It's actually right behind this computer. It's actually that messy. And on that desk are all the services. So we're going to find them right now. Sorry, I know this is a little gimmicky, but hey, I'm getting bored. All right, so the services. Let's talk about the challenge with regard to services first. Dr. Lacey gave us a pretty big challenge here. And this one's serious. She said we want to expand academic services. She wants us to expand academic services with minimal or no increase on the general fund expenditures. We need to expand the services offered to math students, well, just to students working on math, English, reading, writing, all that kind of stuff, without causing the budget to go up. Right? There are ways to do this, but this is significant. Well, let me talk about how big this is first. There are a couple of thousand students that cycle through the LRC every year at Cerritos College. We're currently following a plan that was roughly outlined by Chaffey College. They have a pretty successful student success center, several of them. If we reach the kind of success that they have had over the last few years, we'll be getting to maybe 15, 17,000 students cycling through the LRC. We need to be able to process that many students, and I don't mean process. That's a kind of an ugly word. We need to get these students into the LRC and get them learning. And we need to do it in a way where we're not spending more money than we're currently spending on a lot fewer students. There are ways to do that. Let me step you through some of them here. Okay. The general approach that we're going to take in both success centers, we're going to focus on math, writing, reading, language, and study skills. We are currently in the process of thinking how we develop content, not consulting, but content tutoring. But we're going to mainly focus on those areas. The services in both areas, the Math Success Center and the Language Success Center, are going to be available to all students and all faculty. We will have services available for all levels of development. So if you're a math student working on very basic math, if you're still working on arithmetic, we will have services for you. If you're a calculus student looking to take your game to the next level, we will have services for you. We're going to move from a one-on-one model to a one-on-many model. We're not going to get rid of tutoring. Tutoring is going to be a core component. That is a one-on-one model, though. And that's currently what we almost exclusively offer at Cerritos College. When you're looking for services in math or writing or reading, currently you're a student, you go into one of these areas, we have a tutor sit down with you, and it's a one-on-one instruction level. That's a very expensive way to offer instruction. We're going to move towards one-on-many models to augment that. And you're familiar with a lot of those already, so you go like a workshop. Instead of offering instruction on MLA style in a one-on-one format, let's have a workshop with 20 students, a faculty member delivering that for students. It takes a little more coordination to get them all there at the same time, but that's the kind of thing we can do. Also, technology is a good way to offer one-on-many instruction. You might have students working in the Math Center, 40 different students sitting at 40 computers working on modules on their computer. If they have a question, they raise your hand. There's a faculty member circulating through the area. That faculty member can help those 40 students in that kind of capacity. Again, a lot of success in several math centers across the country that have worked with technology that way. Finally, I want to mention here is that services for students, this idea of services for students versus services for faculty. Right now, the way we approach these services at Cerritos College is we think of them as services for students. So we say to the Cerritos College student body, hey, if you need help with math, you need help with writing, reading, ESL, come down to the Success Center and we'll help you out. And we're still going to say that. We're going to say that to all students across the campus. We have a whole strategy for how we're going to communicate with students on this. But we need to shift our emphasis on this to thinking of it as a service to faculty. The main way we're going to start thinking about these services in the Math Success Center and the Language Success Center is as a service to faculty. You, the faculty member, know what kinds of needs you have inside your classroom. We want to partner with you to help develop services in the Math Success Center, the Language Success Center, to meet those needs. If your students have basic study skills problems, let's work together to get those services in the center. If they have basic math problems that they need to succeed in your course, let's get that in the center. If they have basic writing, let's get those in there, all right? That's the idea. You help us figure out what the services are that need to be there in there, and then you require your students to go get those services. We will track them for you. We'll help you keep track of who's completed them, who showed up, who didn't show up, that type of thing, and then you can incorporate that into your records however you want to. 10 extra credit points, 10% of the grade, 5% of the grade, whatever. That's up to your professional discretion. All right, let's talk a little bit about pedagogy. There's 4 ways that we're going to deliver instruction in the area. First, we'll have directed learning activities. Directed learning, sorry about that. Directed learning activities are like kind of like homework assignments. That's kind of a pejorative term, I know, but there's like activities that you send, that you develop in partnership with those instructional specialists. They're activities that students do a little bit independently, and then they work with some kind of tutor towards the end to measure the amount of learning they've done. We'll have workshops. You're all familiar with that. That'll be a faculty member or a tutor delivering some kind of instruction to people in a workshop environment. Individualized instruction also still. That's basically tutoring as the way we've been thinking about tutoring. We'll have technology software and supplemental instruction where we're working in smaller groups. So we're going to have a diversified approach in terms of how we offer instruction to students in both success centers. Wow, I am really messing up on this presentation right now. Okay, information systems. We are going to be tracking all kinds of data. We need to track attendance data, apportionment data, student usage data, student opinion data, but the gold standard that we are going to track, we are figuring this out right now, and this will be in place. We need to be able to track time spent in the center and performance in the class, or learning in the class. We have to establish a correlation between the amount of time they spend in the center and the success that they have in class. It's got to be. The scenario has to play out so that if you spend lots of time in these success centers and you're a C student, you're now moving to a B student, a D student to C student, a B student to A student. We've got to establish this. I promise we will have our arms around that data. Staffing for the Success Center is going to be equal to the staffing that we currently have in these areas. Now, there's a lot of faculty members that work in the ASC, the MLC, the Writing Center, the Reading Lab. All those faculty members at least all those resources are going to be rolled into those existing Success Centers. We'll have 2 to 4 tutors, instructional aides at all times, 1 to 2 classified at all times, a couple of hourly support in the Staff Success Center. We're going to have those 3 new instructional specialist positions that we identified under the people video that we were watching. And, with a one-to-many model that we're moving toward, we should see dramatic improvements in the levels of capacity. So for just one quick example, in the MLC, they grade about 6,500 to 7,500 exams per semester. If we have a technology component that we bring in, those things can be automated. So the 1 or 2 or 3 instructional aides that do all that grading will not need to do all that grading. The 6,500 quizzes, they won't need to do that grading anymore, and they can spend time directly with students, working with students in these other models that we're talking about. So we should be really stable on the staffing levels that we need. Professional development will be provided for all tutors. We're going to have, this is one thing we really need to get our arms around. We've got lots of different tutors spread throughout campus, working for different people, different programs. This training is not consistent across the board. The pay is not consistent. We need to get that all consistent. We're going to have some cross-training for staff, because staff are going to be asked to work across disciplines now. The same for faculty that are working in the success centers upstairs and downstairs. Are going to need to be a little bit of cross-training that goes on, a lot of development around that. And faculty that want to use the success centers, we're going to be providing some kind of faculty development to help you figure out how to use the success center to help your students perform better in the classroom. All right, so those are the services that we're going to be offering. The general approach, you get the idea, that's going to be offered in the Success Center, both for the Math Success Center and the Language Success Center. I recommend now that you click on the Launch However, if you want to go back and look at any of these others, you can click on any one. If you want to look at the intro again, click on it. You want to look at the context again, look at it, the plan, etc. Just click on it. It'll take you right to the video. It should launch immediately.